Hey y'all, it's Elisha and welcome back to Elisha's Crafty Hoplop. It is the weekend, y'all. It's the weekend. We made it through another week. That horrible humming you're hearing is my little fan that's right next to me. I sent one to Miss Pat too. I know it's annoying probably. You can probably hear that better than you can hear me, but it keeps me cool because it is very muggy here today and overcast and sweaty. And I didn't want to be all glistening. Which is what would happen. I did a test run. I'm still a little bit shiny, but that's just because it's warm here, y'all. It's just warm. It's muggy. It was one of those days where it's been raining off and on. A perfect day for a craftcation, if you ask me, and that was just my good luck. I did not plan it this way. I did plan to deliberately take my craftcation today, and I'm going to tell y'all why. And this is very appropriate for what we have over the last month called Newbie Saturday. For the last month, and a bit, many of us have tried on Saturdays to upload videos to help newer crafters with tips and tools and tutorials. And y'all know I'm not allowed to do the scoring tutorial yet. So I was thinking, what am I going to share with you this weekend? And I decided to take a craftcation for a very important reason that it occurred to me today. I haven't had this happen to me since I started crafting. So I'm going to share with you why I took the craftcation, what inspired it, and what that meant, and what I was doing. And hopefully that'll help shed some light on things for you, or maybe give you some ideas if you're experiencing the same thing. So when I first started crafting, I told y'all I thought I was going to be a Maggie crafter because I loved Maggie prints. I loved especially Willow Lane and Carousel and Chasing Dreams and Open Book. I loved them. And so I love the aestheticism of the crafters who were using those materials. I fell in love with Liller and crafting with Liller, or now called Life with Liller. I loved Tony Craft Purge. I loved Crafty Kimchi. I still love Crafty Kimchi. Oh my goodness. She's a very innovative maker. There were so many that I just fell in love with. Alicia Love Letter Generation, Paper Treasury, Ara. Oh my goodness. Like, they were just amazing with these particular prints. But very quickly after I started, I also realized I loved vintage crafting. And I loved the altering elements of shabby. When I first began crafting, I didn't know there were so many different styles of shabby, and some of the initial people I looked at were a little too frilly for me. But now I know that, I mean, look at Tamika. She's not frilly at all. She's like on the shabby chic side, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I like a little mess with my shabby. So I'm not as clean as Tamika, but I'm not as like lacy as Tea Time and Dolls, for instance, right? So I'm somewhere in the middle. I now know this about myself, but I didn't know when I started. I just knew I was interested in shabby, interested in vintage, interested in clean. Basically, I wanted to do it all. But here was the problem. I would go with my limited craft budget to, let's say, a Tuesday morning, and I would spend 3 hours there. And we had one craft aisle. And my husband knows I'm not an indecisive person. Folks, I'll tell you, our kitchen is tiny. It's probably smaller than most of your closets. I redesigned the entire kitchen myself without an architect. I used every available inch. I not only designed it, I ordered all the appliances and hired all the work people and supervised it. I project managed it myself, and everything was done in 6 weeks. So I'm not an indecisive person. So another reason my husband struggled with this passion of mine wasn't just the crafty mess. It was the hours I was investing in learning. So he didn't understand how I could go to a Tuesday morning with one craft aisle and spend 3 hours standing and staring. And what I didn't know how to explain to him, that probably only another crafter is going to understand, whether you're new or an expert, you're going to understand what I'm about to say, is that I didn't know how to spend my craft dollars wisely. So I would stand there thinking, well, I could get this paper pad, but if I got this ribbon, then maybe I could try making this kind of tassel. Like, I didn't know how to divide out my craft budget enough to expand my stash. And I didn't think to do what I did today because I was a new crafter. So I was like, I would just guess. And as I told y'all, I made some really bad choices. I should have bought better tools at the beginning. I should have bought good scissors. I should have bought a good paper cutter and a good glue gun. But I didn't do any of those things. And I ended up having to replace all of those tools. What a waste of money, y'all, and frustration and hours. Look at my new scoreboard. What a difference. I can score the heck out of things right now. And it makes me laugh. I'm 10 times faster. I just didn't realize how bad a tool that was. Do you know, I wanted to order, I saw it this week, I was watching a tutorial by Tony Craft Purse that she's still using it. And I wanted to send her a new cutter to be like, Tony, don't use that anymore. You will be a much happier crafter if you dump it. And honestly, Tony, it's true. I'm going to tag you in this video. I want you to understand I had the same cutter scoreboard. I'm now able to score twice as fast. Twice as fast. That thing is a disaster. It really should be discontinued. So I guess what I'm saying is, in the beginning, I didn't know how to spend my money. And I didn't know how to build my stash properly. Well, I found myself in the same spot. Isn't this funny? 2 years later, this weekend, there are 70% off sales everywhere. Michael's, Joann's, Sissik's, Tonic. And I'm at a point where I'm pretty happy with my basic stash. Right? Basic. And I mean basic. Like, you know, when I take a look at my friends' stashes or they send me a picture of their stuff, I actually have way less stuff than they do. I know my husband doesn't believe me when I say this, but I have way less paper pads because I use all my paper. I have way less distressing sprays and things like that. Even though I love them, I use them, and I don't buy them in huge bundles, y'all. Maybe what I have more of now than ever before are stickles, but I still only have like 6 stickles. Like but I'm happy with my stash. I'm really happy with it. And I feel like I can make in every style now. Now, I can't make every type of craft. So all of a sudden, I'm at the same place I was 2 years ago. I finally got my basic stash to a place where I can do a little bit of every kind of crafting. But I have a list of crafty aspirations. And now we got 70% off, and it's time for my next month's craft purchase. Y'all, I had the same thing I had when I first started crafting. I had what I call basket freeze. I basically had like a basket at Michael's, a basket at Joann's, a basket at scrapbook.com, which has not as good of a sale, by the way, a basket on Amazon. Each place I had a basket, and I couldn't decide which. Oh, and a basket at Hobby Lobby because they have free shipping this weekend overnight, just till tonight, over $50, which you all know they overcharge for shipping. So when they have it, I tend to buy from them. Okay, well, I can only take one basket. And I didn't know what to do, and I was kind of frozen. And I'll tell you why. Because now I'm again at a fork in the road. Do I expand my craft making? Do I go into a new area like resin or laminating? Or do I expand like I did last month when I purchased those inks in an area I know I love and that I'm going to continue investing in? Well, the only way to decide was to take a craftcation. Because I was inspired enough by 2 things: Crafty Kimchi's project shares, and by the fact that Ali now cannot deliver before August, the end of August, not even the beginning of August, cannot deliver without you paying, like, I'm not exaggerating, I want to be very clear about this, a minimum of $8 to $12 for shipping from them, if not more. You're not going to get your stuff till the end of August. So in order to get any of the resin lollipops that I like, or lollipop charms or flatbacks, I'm going to have to wait till the end of August, which basically takes summer crafting right out. So that means, you know, my cute little sunglasses that I only have a few left of, can't reorder. My cute little flatback popsicles, can't reorder. I have some, thank goodness I ordered extra last summer. All those cute little things that I like to use for the summer crafting, I'm going to have to use what's in my stash, and that's it, because I won't get them in time to use them for summer crafting. I won't even get them in time to use them for Halloween crafting. Because I'm a slow maker, I have to start my Halloween crafts over the summer. So that means basically I'm at a point where I'm ordering right now from Ali for Christmas. For Christmas, y'all. So I was like, well, maybe I'll make my own resin. So today, to make decisions about where I would put my money, would it be in the resin kits, which basically at the minimum is a $50 investment, because by the time you buy the resin kits, the molds, and you don't want to order those on Ali after, I'll tell you how I know that, but you want to order them from Etsy and other suppliers. By the time you order some molds and all the stuff you need, and the mica and the sprinkles and all the other jazz, it's like $50 investment just to get started. So I was like, girl, you're not investing anything until you watch video after video. So instead of watching your videos today, I took a craftcation, and I looked at my list of crafty aspirations, and I went and I sought out many expert makers making with those products. And I watch like 10 videos per crafty aspiration in order to assess, am I really going to like this? Or am I just inspired by what someone else is making? Which there's nothing wrong with. That's why we come on here, is to be inspired, right? We share our projects with each other to be inspired. But before I'm going to go fork out $50 to expand my making, I want to make sure I'm actually going to like this thing and I'm going to want to use it and do it. Now, we all know I love die cutting. A die is never a bad investment for me. I love stamping. Never a bad investment for me. But I have enough stamps right now. I really do. So, I don't need to build that out really anymore. Unless there's some specialized ones. What I need to do now is figure out, what do I want to do next? So I want to watch these videos. Well, after a full day, I watched them till 6:30 y'all. It's now 7:30. Till 6:30 at night I watched these videos. And at the end of them, I was like, well, I think I'm sold on resin. I think I'm going to make the plunge. I'm pretty excited by it. I've watched over 10 videos, tutorial after tutorial. I can tell you how to do it with my eyes closed now. I think I can handle it. No problem. But there was one more video I had to watch, and I'm so glad I did. And it was by a woman who lives with autoimmune disease, who is rheumatologist, had taken away all of her resin making. Because it turns out for autoimmune disease, people living with autoimmune disease, resin is very dangerous. Well, I'm not going to take one person's word for it. I went and did some research, and oh my goodness, it's particularly bad for people with scleroderma. It causes something called chemical exposure flare-up. I had no idea. I was about to make the one investment that would have been so bad for my health. And it doesn't matter if you wear a respirator mask and you do it outside even. I can't be anywhere near this product. So the one thing out of the whole crafty aspiration list I was committed to doing, I found out I can't because of my health. So I was like, wow, good thing I did that research. Imagine if I had found that out. First of all, imagine if I hadn't found it out and had used the resin and had gotten even more sick. 2, imagine if I'd made the investment and then found it out. Yeah, very disappointing. So I'm sure glad I did that research. But that took resin off my list. So I'm going to have to live with, late August shipping from China for those resin lollipops. Okay, so now I know. Well, what about a laminator? Like Miss Judy, I've been debating it. I've bought them for friends, just never bought one for myself, because I'm not sure if I'm going to like it enough. Well, Miss Judy, if there was ever a day to order a laminator, it's today. It's $30 off on Amazon. It's only $21, y'all, which is, for a good laminator, a good price. That's for the Scotch thermal laminator. So, I had to think pretty hard because that's a really good price. I will probably only use it for things like tag flips. I like my tag flips to be different dimensions, so I would laminate some of the thinner sheets to put in there, probably with some sequins and things inside. So I'm like, okay, that's a good purchase. It's a tool. It's a tool that's normally $50. It's on sale for $21. It's a good price. It's a good name brand. It gets excellent reviews. Okay. And I might use it for bookmarks and and occasionally a book cover. So I'm going to be happy with that as a purchase. That's like a good value purchase. That's a good place to put my dollars. I may not laminate my envelopes, but I may not have the patience for that, but I will use it for those other things. So, all right, that's a great choice. What about some of the other things I was interested in? Well, I'll tell y'all, it wasn't just the resin that came off the list. Once I watched 10 or 11 videos per item, some of the things I thought I would be really interested in making, not so much. I know me. I watched it and I was like, you're really not going to like that after a week or two. You're going to get bored of that. Or you're not going to like this at all, or it's not really conducive to the way you craft or the way you make. What I ended up learning was that outside of the laminator, what I'm probably better off doing is investing in more complicated, better quality supplies for the areas that I love. So like even better mixed media products, or maybe some more mixed media products. Maybe one really good quality stamp. And maybe like one that's really versatile that I can use in many different ways. Maybe the couple of dies that I really liked at the Sussex sale that I really like and I think I'll use over and over again are okay to add to my stash. It's amazing, and I'm not adverse to trying new things. I love collage. You saw I bought For the Love of Paper. I love all different things. But those sort of things I have in my stash right now. The newer things are things like resin that require a whole bunch of new tools, a whole bunch of new base supplies. It would be like if I were going to build chunky charms. It would take a pretty big investment to get started because I'd have to order everything I would need in order to make them, right? After doing the research, these other areas I'm not so interested in. The ones I'm interested in, I already have the basics for. So I sort of have to now go back and take a look at my stash and figure out what I need to add to my stash to make me a better maker. And that will help me expand what I'm currently doing so that I can do more of it and do it better. And now I don't have basket freeze anymore. I can go and clear out those baskets because I know that it doesn't matter that it's on sale for a great price. I'm not interested. So I guess that's my tip to you today. Taking a craftcation for yourself where you go and you actively seek out videos on things you want to make or learn that you think you want to make to help you assess whether or not you really want to invest in these supplies or not is such a good investment in yourself as a creative person. It really is. Now, if you have a Dollar Tree near you with a really good crafter's corner or crafter square, then it's worth it to go put some low investment dollars into seeing if you like these things. I can't do that here because we don't have one nearby. It's not close by and there's still lineups for it. So I can't go. And they don't even, I don't think they have a crafter's corner or a crafter square in that one. Or if they do, it's small. So according to what the grandfather tells me. So for me, I can't sort of make a low-end investment. If you are in my kind of situation, then you want to be sure before you do it, right? Because there's so many great craft tools available to us and great dyes available to us and stamps and materials that you don't want to put your $50 in the wrong spot. You just don't. You just don't. So I hope this was helpful to you. I haven't had it happen since I started crafting, but it made me think about everyone who's starting out and how I used to stand in those aisles at Tuesday morning for like 2.5 hours going, what do I buy first? You know, I felt a lot like that today until I went and watched all these videos. And then suddenly it was like, oh, clear that basket. It was very empowering, y'all. And I guess that's my piece of advice to you. Figure out what really drives you, then watch a lot of videos on it. Watch Build My Stash videos, doing projects with those items so that you can really see. And then figure out if you're going to love it as much as you think you are. And if you are, perfect. Then place it in order this weekend while things are on sale. And get it at a much better price. And then get crafting. I'm glad finally that the laminator's on sale for a reasonable price. I'm sure Miss Judy's going to be happy when she sees that too. I'm going to text her also to let her know. But it's funny that I'm sort of already figured out my groove. And I just need to make a bigger and better investment in it. All right, y'all. I hope this was helpful. It's a hard thing to explain. But spending a day watching, carefully researching your aspirations and your making will really yield incredible benefits, I promise you. Plus, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I watched, without exaggerating, I think I watched like 60 videos today. At least it feels like I watched that many. It was a lot, but it was so enjoyable. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go make some supper and I will be back on with some Happy Meal. And I hope you're doing well. And I hope that today you took a day of crafting. I wasn't, as I said, I was researching and learning, but for me, that's just as much fun. All right, wishing the same for you. A happy, healthy, and creative evening. All right, y'all. See you later.